We are Sally and Ed, and this is our 2015 Mercedes Sprinter Tofu. It's always been one of our dreams to road trip the big lap of Australia, so a couple of months ago we made the crazy decision to buy a cargo van and attempt to convert it into a camper van ourselves. As we are both novice builders, this journey so far has been challenging, but also super rewarding. Guys, that was my first time using like proper power tools, and wow, I feel like I'm like full of adrenaline, like, let's cut more stuff up, yeah, woo! In today's van build episode, we are going to be installing the framework to our van ceiling as well as insulating the walls. Morning guys, so we have two main van building tasks today. The first task is we're building the framework for the ceiling, and then the second task is we are going to finish insulating, hopefully. That's the plan. That so far is the plan today. I don't know, it might take us a little bit longer, but those are our two next van build tasks. Chilling up here, we have all of our insulation. It is Pirmax Rigid Foam Insulation that we got from Pricewise. The kind of insulation that we are using in the ceiling and on the walls is a little bit different to the insulation we used on the floor. This stuff right here, which was foil board, and to be honest with you, we found that it was super crumbly, it wasn't great to work with, and it made a massive mess. Little tiny micro bits of polystyrene basically went everywhere, and as much as we tried to clean it up, I just feel like it's not super great for the environment. So we just opted to go for something different for the ceiling and for the walls. So we got Pirmax Rigid Foam Insulation, and we picked it up from Pricewise. So if you guys want to pick up similar type of insulation, we will link their details down below for you, because we haven't started cutting it yet, but I can already tell that it is going to be so much better to work with. I think so. So we're basically going to be taking battens just like this one here. We're going to be attaching them up there. And the reason that we're doing that is because when we put the cladding on, we need something to attach it to, like something to attach it to the ceiling. So that is what that framework is for. If you're wondering why we're cutting all of these holes, the wood itself is pretty hard, it's pretty solid, it's not very flexible. And if you look at the roof, you'll notice that it's ever so slightly curved.
Right here in the middle. So I saw this great video on YouTube where a guy took a piece of wood and bent it into all these funny shapes, and he had a whole bunch of different slits across the wood, which gives it a little bit of flex. This wood is really quite cheap wood, it's like I want to say refurbished, but like recycled, and it's just glued together. So I haven't done super deep cuts into the wood, but just enough that it gives it a little bit of flex when we're pushing it into the roof, which means if you come over here, once it's pushed up, we only lose maybe like 2 mil in height, rather than putting the batten straight underneath and losing, 10 or 15 mil, which is quite a lot of height for me. So I think this is going to be the best way forward. So this is the first one we put up here, and it's pretty much screwed in. It's looking really good. So we're using this wood to keep constant pressure, because I was trying to do it before just by holding it up, and I'm not strong enough to maintain the constant pressure. So Colin had this great idea to just jam it up with a piece of wood, and it's working perfectly. So again, thanks Colin. First one's always the hardest.
Yeah, it's gonna be so easy after this. I'm standing on the foil board, Jesus. We definitely could have gone to the hardware store and picked up some more wood. That would have been more flexy and probably would have been a little bit easier to work with. So we just figured we already had this wood, didn't really want to waste it, so we thought we would just reuse it in our ceiling. So that's what we're doing. We'll see how it goes. We've already had one accident. We were just trying to make the slits and we cut all the way through. So this is a learning process for both of us. Neither of us come from carpentry backgrounds or building backgrounds or really have that many skills with tools. So it's all a bit of a learning process. It's a bit slow at the moment, but yeah, we'll see. How are you going?
Pretty good. All right, second one done.
Second one done. Hang on, let me turn around so you can see.
Let's take these off. See how it goes.
Whoa.
No, it's pretty good. So what we're going to do is when we get the ceiling, that's going to go like this. Not this wood, but some other wood, some other ceiling. It's actually we're going to be able to bolt it or nail gun it straight through into the wood, and this way we haven't lost any height. Because we lost a little bit when we raised the floor, so hopefully this will be a better option.
Looks really, really good.
Thanks.
So whilst Ed has been busy cutting, I've been busy drawing. Teamwork! Georgia definitely makes things a little bit harder to get stuff done. Don't ya? Hey? Hey? Don't ya? She has decided this is the best spot in the whole place to sit, even though we're on a massive property and she could go anywhere she wants. This is where she chooses to be. And I'm not gonna lie, it's making it a little bit tricky to get stuff done. Yes, it is. Okay, enough. Okay, come on. Okay, I gotta get stuff done. Georgia. Look at this dog. Don't you. What are you doing? Stop it. Georgia. Can you not?
Come around here. And don't squeeze the trigger. We're just going to use this so we can lower it. Yeah, and now if you pull the trigger. Yep. Let it go. That's it. That's all of it. Can you do that? Thanks, Steve. Please keep your hands out of the way.
I just used a circular saw. Is that
I might have.
I just used a miter saw and I cut this wood. I'm feeling a bit chuffed with myself, dude. Let's go cut some more wood. guys, that was my first time using like proper power tools. And wow, I feel like I'm like full of adrenaline, like, let's cut more stuff up, yeah, woo!
The reason we've left putting some battens on that end sort of section is we've actually got a skylight coming next week. We're gonna wait till after we've put that in, just so we can make sure it fits perfectly and everything's nice and snug. They look pretty good.
We can begin insulating our van. First of all, we gotta clean the walls. The glue we're using, the Sikaflex glue we're using, doesn't really stick if the walls are dusty. So we're gonna do that first. Then we're gonna cut the insulation to size, and then we're gonna stick it up.
Just put that on the table.
Yeah. Moment of truth. Let's see if this fits.
Yeah, well, I think I got it twisted around the wrong way. So not 100% sure which way it fits in, but it's not too bad actually.
It's not too bad. It just,
you know, we just really need to take this corner out.
Pretty good. Look, that's pretty snug. That's pretty snug. That's.
We just got to do this corner. Can you get the upper right template for me and we'll just trace it over. We made some paper templates to help us with the corners so that we've got something to scribe. So Sally's just gonna go and get the upper right corner and then we should be able to get it in.
Yeah, look, it looks, from back here, it looks beautiful. Good job. Upper right. Upper right there, sir.
Upper right. Let's get that nice and straight. We'll just come down on that. That'll be
Probably just about right, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say anything else.
The only problem we have now is a little broken knife.
I snapped the knife before, so. So this stuff is, this foam, this high density rigid board foam is like impervious to water. So it doesn't really need a moisture barrier on it. So it's not gonna react, it's not gonna mold, it's not gonna break down with the water. So I'm just gonna fold it over and it should be right.
Folding this bit over and it should be right, yeah.
Maybe I'll cut it off.
It's like, no, that looks good. It's like wrapping a present.
Yeah, except with, yeah, okay, cool. See if it fits. Are you in?
I'm in.
We're in.
We're in.
I would say that fits.
It fits. It fits.
It bloody fits.
Woo! It fits. Yeah. Yeah. It fits.
All right. All right. So now that it fits on one side, you'll notice in the Mercedes Sprinters that the panels kind of match. So the two back panels are this size, these two in the middle are a different size, and then this one here is its own unique size. So we should be able to just use this, trace around a little bit more of this PIR insulation, and then we should have two of them, and we'll be good to go.
We're not just going to be using the foam boards behind me here. We're actually going to be using 3 types of insulation. First is the foam board here. To fill in any gaps, we've got these polyester bats. The final thing is this Sickaboom expanding foam right here. We're going to be putting the boards in the big spaces, and then in any of the funny little gaps, bits where we can't fit a board, that's where we're going to be putting the polyester bats. And to stick it all together is use this Sikaflex expanding foam.
Go put it in. This one's done. If you fit it tight enough, it should stay on its own with a good bit of a whack. So in the end, this is what all of these panels will look like, and the roof. And yeah, it certainly shores up the side of the van.
Well, we've made a little bit of a mess, but we're making progress.
Making progress. What are those numbers?
250, 160.
250, 160.
So it's funny because the first one of these took us such a long time to cut out, and I feel like in the same amount of time we've pretty much cut the rest of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 panels out of 5 cut. We are just cutting our last wall panel, and then we're going to cut all of the ceiling panels, but I think the ceiling is going to be just a little bit easier because if you look, the ceiling, it's going to go in here. It's just a rectangle. Should be a little bit easier. Oh dear. What a day, hey? It's funny because of all of the other YouTube videos we've watched on like insulating vans, people are always like, it takes so long. And we're like, it looks easy. It's not gonna take that long.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. It takes a long time.
Basically, the tip we learned is that you don't need to cut the whole way through. So I think part of the reason we were struggling so much in the beginning is we're trying to use the knife to cut the whole way through the foil, the foam, and then the foil that sits on the back. But another tip from Colin is that you can actually just get in, you only need to get in about halfway. Oops. And then what happens, it's cut enough that you can actually snap it. And so the edge isn't perfectly clean, but rather than sitting here with the circular saw or whatever else we were doing before, this is much quicker and much easier.
Nicely done. Alright, so we have now cut all of the wall panel pieces. So the next step...
Sorry.
So our next step is we're going to go through, give everything a bit of a wipe down with some methylated spirits. Make sure there's nothing dusty because the glue we're using, the Sikaflex that we are using, basically, well, it's not that it won't stick, but it works better if the surface is clean and not dusty. So that's next steps.
Fit?
Yeah.
All the other ones fit.
Except for this one.
Except for that one.
Alright, so we're gonna attach the first one. We're actually gonna attach our first piece of foam insulation. This is so exciting.
This caulking again sucks.
This what?
This. I can't get the stuff out. This. I guess that Colin's got another one of these guns. Sorry.
Hold that thought. Our gun to squeeze the Sikaflex onto the wall just stopped working. Oh, guys. It's just like, One thing after another. We'll be back. Oh dear, what's happened?
No, we need this caulking gun, whatever you call this thing, is broken. And so we just tried to stick our walls on, not getting anywhere. And it's probably going to be dark by the time we get to the shops and back. So we're just going to call it. You know, you get so excited and you think you're going to get so much done with a van build. And you're like, yeah, we're going to do this today. We're going to do this today. We're going to do this today. And honestly, we put 5 battens on the roof. And
no, and we cut a bunch of insulation.
And we cut out a little bit of foam. That's about it. So, not a lot of progress today.
No, don't be silly. Loads of progress, just not a lot of visible progress.
Uh-huh.
All right, come on.
Until tomorrow.